is relentlessly trying to save Adani. A really big question is why? Why are you saving Adani? And to what extent are you going to save him? You have decided the parliament will not function. The reality is that it is the ruling party which is obstructing proceedings. It is the ruling party which is asking for adjournment. It is the ruling party which is going in the well of the house. It is the ruling party that's causing disruption. And which is why our democracy is on test. But because you hide behind a man called George Soros, and I give two hoots about who George Soros is, the reality is that you have to answer a few questions. If George Soros is indeed running an anti-India agenda, what are you doing to shut him down in India? Why are you contributing to the UN Democracy Fund, which actually aids 68 projects of George Soros around the world? Why have you contributed $900,000 in the last 8 to 10 years in this UN Democracy Fund? Why are you the fourth largest donor in the UN Democracy Fund? Why are you even a part of the UN Democracy Fund that's giving money to George Soros? So in a way, Mr. Modi is funding George Soros. George Soros came to India in 1999. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji was the Prime Minister of this country. He came to India, he used to give some fellowships and scholarships. But it was in 2014 that his grant program started. George Soros' Open Society has a Soros Economic Development Fund. It has two big funds, Song Fund and Aspada, which is now known by another name. It has been bought over. Aspada, please go to the first one. Aspada was backed by Soros, and this invested money in two big funds, Neo Growth and Capital Float. Capital Float, founded by these two gentlemen, seemingly bright young boys, Gaurav Hinduja and Shashank Rishyasinghe. This fund is now known as Axio, and Axio, like I said, Gaurav Hinduja and Shashank Rishyasinghe. This fund, these are the two founders. They are seemingly very fond of Mr. Modi. They have shared public platforms with him. They have supported his demonetization. But they were funded by George Soros. Why are you spending time? Why are you sharing the stage? Why are you backing people who have been funded by George Soros? And it doesn't just end there. Shashank Rishyasinghe is married to the granddaughter of Viren Shah. Viren Shah is an ex-treasurer of the BJP. He was also the governor of West Bengal between 1999 to 2004 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was in government. And when Shashank Rishyasinghe got married to Viren Shah's granddaughter, people like Mr. Advani and then Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis attended this wedding. When her brother had gotten married, Piyush Goyal and multiple other people had gone. So the question is that what are you doing about all of these funds? And these are not small operators, by the way, just for your information. Axio has supported 40,000 small businesses across the country. It has invested $300 million in small businesses, startups, and other places like that. It has given money to farmers. What are you doing about this? If Soros is running an anti-India agenda, how is money from his fund flowing into Indian startups, flowing into Indian small ventures, flowing into these funds? And why are you sharing platforms with people who are backed by Soros? The reality is that you have zero proof. The reality is you have no evidence. And the reality is you are only hiding behind Soros because you need an alibi to save Mr. Adani. Go back to the main screen, please. And as far as allegations of OCCRP is concerned, OCCRP brought to light how 13% of the public float in 4 Adani listed entities was held by Chang Chung Ling and Nasir Ali Shaban Ali, aides of Vinod Adani. It also brought to light how coal prices were inflated by these two individuals, how prices of electricity considerably went up because of them. Media Part, another media organization being quoted by the BJP, has issued a big fat denial and has said that this amounts to spreading fake news because they have never published an article like this. But the counter question is, you want to use Media Part. Mediapart has called out your fake news. But even before that, if you want to give Mediapart some relevance, why are you not talking about the Rafale scam? Because Mediapart also reported on the Rafale scam. It's very convenient for you to not talk about the Rafale scam. The reality is that whether it is the foreign media, which reports, when it reports against you, is a part of some anti-India conspiracy, but you resort to reporting to foreign media when it talks well of Mr. Modi. From Morning Consult to The Guardian, to anybody who has one good thing to say about the Prime Minister, it will be reported by every BJP handle, every BJP worker, every MP, every minister, everybody. Why? And do you honestly believe that we need foreign media to put you in the dock? Your own policies, your own failures, which have caused joblessness, high prices, income inequality, incomes being stagnant. These are reasons enough to put you in the dock. And which is why we are asking the question, why are you taking attention away from the one big scam that this country must discuss, that Parliament must discuss, that Parliament must know? And that is the Adani scam. The Adani scam, which has raised questions on India's corporate governance, India's credibility of markets, India's rule of law and order, amongst various other things. I will go back and raise the final point that I raised before, that there are people associated with the George Soros fund, backed by that fund, who are very pally with you, who you support. Why are you doing that? And if George Soros is indeed doing an anti-India activity, shut him down. Why are you not doing that either? Why have you not written to the US? And why have you not asked for custody of George Soros? If he's running an anti-India agenda, have you taken any legal recourse? And the answer to that is a no, because they have no proof and they only want to divert from the issue that matters, and that is the Modi-Adani scam. आपके सवालों का स्वागत है. अगर आपके सवाल इससे प्रेरित रहें तो मैं शुक्रगुजार होंगी. जी हाँ, बताइए.
Ma'am, like you have mentioned that you have all the facts with you. So now, will the opposition accept the demand of the BJP that there should be a discussion upon George Soros within the House?
We will accept the demand the day BJP accepts the demand to do a discussion on Gautam Adani. And I will tell you why. BJP's allegations about George Soros, and I hold no brief for him, are unsubstantiated. But as far as Gautam Adani is concerned, he has been indicted by the grand jury from the Department of Justice in the United States. His deal stand cancelled by Kenya, both airport and power. His power deal in Bangladesh is being scanned and probed into by the Bangladesh court. Sri Lanka is on watch as far as his power deal is concerned. He is facing protests in Israel and in Australia, and Switzerland has frozen accounts related to Gautam Adani. There are charges of wrongdoing, fraud, misgivings, and also bribery, for which he has been indicted by the grand jury. The SEC of the United States and FBI probed him for 2 years, and only after that were the warrants issued. The BJP does not want to talk about a man who faces warrants from the United States of India, or United States of America, and in India they want to protect him. I mean, what sort of logic is this? And I'm sorry to say, I'm a little disappointed with media not raising this question. Here is a man who faces indictment, who faces a warrant on charges of fraud, on charges of corruption, on charges of bribery, and bribery paid to Indian officials and Indian politicians. And the government doesn't want to probe him. He has offered to settle with SEBI. Why? If there was no wrongdoing, why is he offering to settle with SEBI? Do you not want to know what the charges are? Do you not care about the credibility of our stock markets, the credibility of our corporate sector? Do you not care about the kind of allegations this raises, and raises questions on our rule of law both in spirit and in letter? What are we talking about? I will briefly explain to you what happened in the house yesterday in Rajya Sabha, the house of the elders. The BJP got into the house and under Rule 267 they gave an adjournment motion which was rejected by Sri Dhankar, India's Vice President and of course custodian of Rajya Sabha. This motion was rejected, and then between 11 and 11:40 and 12 and 12:14, he asked every BJP member to rise and speak. The Congress President, the Leader of the Opposition, Shri Kharge ji, the Deputy LOP, Shri Pramod Tiwari ji, our Chief Whip, Jairam Ramesh ji, Digvijay Singh ji, senior members, all seasoned politicians got up and asked, under what rule are you allowing them to talk? And he did not listen to them. He just allowed them to speak. And this is not one day in the house, this is several days we see this. Every time a member of the opposition opens his mouth and utters the word Adani, he comes down on them like a ton of brick. Nothing will go on record. Nothing will go on record. Why will it not go on record? Every time the Congress president gets up to speak, you interject him. You expunge important portions of his speech. Why? Because he's a Dalit. And I will raise this question because you have a very, very partisan attitude in the house and members in the house feel obliged to hold you to record. The kind of snidey remarks that you make, we forget about that. But you are responsible for conducting the house in a bipartisan way. You have just chosen not to do that.
Ma'am, one question as Tahir Hussain has joined AIMIM today, and his name has been announced by Asaduddin Owaisi to contest the upcoming elections in Delhi Assembly, as he was one of those person who were being accused in the 2020 Delhi riots. Such kind of person contesting election, what's the take of the Congress party regarding this?
Why is he contesting elections? Which party is supporting him? And what will I know who is supporting him? I'm asking you a rhetorical question. Who is supporting him and why? Why is he being supported? What is this going to do? Whose hands is Mr. Owaisi playing in? And when I say B team of the BJP, people take a lot of offense. He himself takes a lot of offense. But who is he supporting? Whose agenda is he pushing by doing these things? I don't want to speak on more things like that because he's not a member of my party. I haven't given him the ticket. My party doesn't stand with people like that. But if Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi has decided to stand by him, what's his motive? Who is he supporting? And why? And is it not playing into the BJP's ploy of polarization? That's a question all of you who keep meeting Mr. Owaisi inside and outside of Parliament should ask him. Has Kiran Rijiju found time to attend Parliament instead of putting his workout videos? Has Kiran Rijiju found time other than lifting weights to tell this country what is he up to? Has Kiran Rijiju found time to make Parliament function? The reality is that the failure of the government is apparent in how Parliament is not functioning. And what is tamasha? I would like to ask, what is tamasha? You are not allowing the discussion on Gautam Adani, a man who has been indicted, a man who faces various charges around the world, a man who's being probed by various nations across this world, a man who faces a warrant. You are not allowing a discussion there. Why? Because he's close to the Prime Minister. Because any discussion on Adani will amount to a discussion on Narendra Modi. And to attract people's attention, to catch their imagination, we are doing very innovative things. Your problem is that everything innovative that we are doing in Parliament, the media is being forced to show this. Whether it's wearing a mask or it's wearing a t-shirt which has a sticker of Modi and Adani, or it's carrying a bag, this is catching popular imagination. That's your problem. And ye tamasha kaise hai? When Atal Bihari Vajpayee comes in a bullock cart protesting against some nominal price rise in fuel, he was doing his democratic duty and so are we. किरण रिजिजू के पास शायद व्यायाम वगैरह करने से आज वक्त मिल गया होगा तो उन्होंने वक्तव्य दिया है. सरकार का सबसे बड़ी विफलता है कि सदन नहीं चल रहा है और सदन में अवरोध बीजेपी बनी हुई है. बीजेपी सदन नहीं चल रही. हम तो जो अपना प्रदर्शन भी है वो सदन के बाहर कर रहे हैं और ये डिमांड कर रहे हैं कि सदन चलाइए और सदन के अंदर आके हम चुपचाप बैठ के सदन चलने का इंतजार करते हैं. हो हल्ला कौन कर रहा है? बीजेपी कर रही है। क्यों कर रही है? क्योंकि अगर हो हल्ला नहीं करेंगे तो मोदी और अडानी के ऊपर डिस्कशन करना पड़ेगा। अडानी का डिस्कशन मतलब मोदी का डिस्कशन। क्यों बचा रहे उनको आप? असलियत यह है कि चाहे वो मास्क पहन के प्रदर्शन करना हो या स्टिकर लगा के करना हो या बैग लेके करना हो, दुनिया को पता चल गया है मोदी और अडानी एक है और इसीलिए सेफ है। और मीडिया को भी, क्योंकि वो विजुअल्स अच्छे हैं, दिखाना पड़ रहा है। यह दिक्कत है रिजिजू जी की और उनकी पार्टी की। अगर आपके अंदर जरा सी भी नैतिकता और मर्यादा है, जो कि नहीं है, आपने वो बेच खाई है, उसको गिरवी रख के आप अडानी का बचाव कर रहे हैं। अगर जरा सी भी बाकी है तो गौतम अडानी पर डिस्कशन करा के दिखाइए। 1 घंटे के लिए डिस्कशन करवाइए, आप नहीं करवा पाइएगा।
ஊடகம் கார்ப்பரேட் அரசியல்வாதிகளின் கைப்பாவையாக அடிமைகளாக இருந்தது போதும், இனி சாட்டை எடுத்து சுழற்றும் நேரம் வந்துவிட்டது. ஊடகம் பொதுமக்களாகிய உங்களுக்காக, உங்களாலேயே இயக்கப்பட வேண்டும். ஊடக சுதந்திரத்திற்காக உங்களின் பங்களிப்பை இன்றே அளித்திடுங்கள்.